Well, hello there, book friends, book pals, book bays, and book bros. Welcome back to the Bookcast, my little weekly chat show podcast thing where I share what I'm reading and sometimes what I'm writing and a lot of times what life is like as a self-published author of Black fiction. This is episode 140, and I am your host, D.L. White. I'm an Atlanta-based author, reader, storyteller, podcaster sometimes, Substacker fangirl. You know, that's me. I contain multitudes. If you like this podcast or the very idea of such a podcast, I encourage you to support me by buying the books. You can find those at booksbydlwhite.com/shop. You'll also find print editions on my bookshop.org shelf. So you're supporting indie bookstores and me at the same time. And I don't know if you've heard, but that is my very favorite thing. Today's Sunday, June 14th, 2026, and this is going to be a real quick one, like quick and dirty, shoot, bang, bang. I'm heading out soon this week, so I will not be doing a podcast next week or the week after. We'll talk about that later in the podcast, but I just want to get it in the episode for this week so I'm not terribly behind when I come back. So let's just go ahead and get into it. But first, let's have a little bit of a beverage break. Okay, friends, welcome back. Let's begin with the book report as always, because if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do what? Read a book. I am at 75 of 150 books I plan to read in 2026. That means I just hit 50% on my Goodreads goal. A lot of times I hit this way earlier in the year, so that tells me I haven't been reading as much as I usually do. And that is bothersome to me and my homegirls being my Kindles. So I gotta get on my Zoom. I should have a much less busy week this week. So hopefully I should be able to get in some reading. I did get some reading done, though. I got 2 books in. I finished The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace, a brilliant young man who left Newark for the Ivy League by Jeff Hobbs. I listened to this in audio. It was the longest book about a short life I have ever listened to. You know how the kids say, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I read this because it was a biography and it looked interesting. It was okay. There was just a lot about his life and then he died. Yeah, I see there's a movie about this and I might want to watch the movie. It sounded a lot more evocative than the book. It was a book. It could be I just didn't take enough in as I was reading it because it's nonfiction. And the narrator was very monotone, a lot like this. And Robert went to school, and then Robert went to college, and then other things happened. And then Robert's dad died, and then Robert's mom lost her job and moved, and things happened sort of like this in a monotone fashion. And it was just hard to get really emotionally involved with this book. I would watch a movie. I would watch a movie. So I also read In Full Bloom, Liana by C. Monet. I do really enjoy C. Monet. I actually discovered her a while back, but last year I read 2 of the books that she wrote for the Love and Scrubs series. Like one book she wrote for the Love and Scrubs series and one spinoff called Ignite. Enjoyed her writing and I said, hey, she has a new book out. Let's pick it up. So I read that, really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I think I'm going to give Robert Peace like 3 stars. It was, it was a book. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best thing I ever put into my face. It was a book. So what I'm currently reading now, The Goodbye Man, Culture Shaw #2 by Jeffery Deaver, continuing the series, the source material for the show Tracker. Depending on how The Goodbye Man goes, I may put the Culture Shaw read on hold because these are going really slow. I just don't find this interesting. I just don't. And I'm not going to drag myself through. So we're going to see how The Goodbye Man goes and then try to call it, put it down or continue at the end of this book. That's the decision I've made. Because y'all know I don't drag myself through books unless I really, really, really have to. And then I'm also reading Balls in Your Court, a Dallas Vipers romance by Nina High. I'm about 60% of the way through this. It's sweet. It's sweet. Like, Nina writes very comforting reads. They're very much comfort reads. They're not fluffy, but they are just like a warm hug. So this is a very sweet read. I'm very much enjoying it. The sassy 16-year-old is completely stealing the book, and I'm truly enjoying it. And then I'm going to jump into Spring, a Love Story in the Seasons of Love series by Norian Love. I did throw a little bit of a temper tantrum this week earlier on Threads because, like, the way that some authors don't want to announce that they have books out it needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. I am just amazed how people be like, I want people to read my books and buy my books, but then they don't talk about their books. And I'm vain about my work. I want everybody to read my books because I think they're fantastic. Like, I would talk about my books 24/7, 365. I have to make myself shut up about my books. So the idea that I could put something out and then not say anything and not send a newsletter or make a social media post or at least like post the link to it in my stories, like, I'm shy. Anyway, Norian Love. I mean, maybe I found it before it was meant to be announced, but I had been looking for it and I couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden it was up on his website and there was no link to it and there was no launch day. And listen, if Norian Love puts out a new book, I need the link to it. And also, I know Jason Graham is listening to this podcast right now. And when he has a new book available, I need it in my hot little hands. Stop playing with me, people. I bite. I'm so serious. Okay, so those are the books I'm going to get into this week and try to have finished. Very excited. You know, I love, love, love books. What I also love is streaming things on various channels. So on Hulu, I started watching Agatha Christie's Miss Marple. I'm just watching one episode a night, which is exactly the right speed I need to be watching. Miss Marple is adorable. I have not read the books. I am just watching the show, but she is just this cute little old gray-haired lady who is just sharp as a tack. And you can just tell when she has figured out the mystery. Miss Marple reminds me a lot of Elsbeth Tassioni in the show Elsbeth. I want to know if Elsbeth is modeled after Miss Marple. I'm going to research that because it's they're very quirky. Elsbeth is younger, but she is just sharp. Like, she sees things and then she starts asking questions and you can tell that she has figured it out, but she is going to let the perpetrator or the murderer or the antagonist in the scene kind of dig themselves a hole and make it obvious that here's what happened. So that's who Elsbeth reminds me of. So I'm going to find out if she is modeled after Miss Marple. And I say this after only watching 3 episodes, but I see some parallels. I'm sensing patterns. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely not reading these in book form. Sometimes I just take in more when I can see it and hear it. So it's relevant information given my mystery classics penchant. From that, I don't know where I'm going to go. Do I want to watch Murder, She Wrote? I've literally never seen Murder, She Wrote. And I did see that the old series Perry Mason. I've not actually been talking out loud at all today, so my tongue is very lazy right now. The old series Perry Mason was airing on some channel. Do I want to watch Perry Mason? I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see, but I do want to get into some more classics. And if I can do it without actually getting the books and reading them, which is very lazy, I know, but I can ingest it faster and get it into my brain if I can hear it and see it as opposed to just reading it. That would be a great thing. So, all right, moving on. Writing, publishing. I'm writing a thing I wrote yesterday. I wrote the day before, just like 1,000 words a day, just on a fun thing. It's a secret. I am not ready to talk about it, but if you are not on my newsletter, you'll want to get on my newsletter. It's booksbydlwhite.com/newsletter, because if I am announcing anything or releasing anything short and quick and dirty relatively soon, the link will come first to my newsletter, and the news will come first to my newsletter. And where do you think the sneak peek is going to come? That's right, my newsletter. So get on it, booksbydlwhite.com/newsletter. I'm not going to tell you again until I get to the end. So that said, that's really the only thing I've got kind of going on writing-wise, but I am still promoting Standard of Care because it is still a new release until I say it's not, at least until April. On Tuesday, I am running a new releases for less promo from BookFunnel, which allows you to just run a promo on a new release so it can be promoted at full price. I think I said last week this was expensive, so fingers crossed we at least break even. I won't tell you how much it costs, but we are going to have to pray that it breaks even. Can I afford it? Yes, absolutely. But do I want to make my money back and more? Absolutely. So also the promo that I ran recently, the free Booksy, was also stacked with Fussy Librarian. Now that was just a 1-day promo, but Fussy Librarian also ran it every day for 5 days, and that's how I kept seeing people pick up the book for free. It was Leslie's Curl and Dye for free. So that's actually been getting a lot of traction. I have like 900 and some books out yet, but also Beach Thing has been free for like a week. So Beach Thing is free. That's my next thing, is the Make It a Black Diamond Summer is running through the 4th of July. So Beach Thing is book 1 in the Black Diamond Romance series, and that is free. And then books 2 and 3 are 50% off. So you can get the whole series for like $5-ish, less than $5 in ebook. And that's fantastic. I did not put the audiobook on sale because it is rather inexpensive. If you have a credit, you can use it, or you can, I think it's like $7.99-ish. You can get it on Chirp. You can listen to it on Everand. You can borrow it from your library. If they don't have it, you can request it. You can get it on Hoopla. You can get it on Spotify. If you have Spotify Premium, dial it up on there. You get 15 free hours through Spotify Premium. This audiobook is maybe 5 hours, 4 hours and something. It's fun. It's just a fun little dreamy, beachy black romance. So you want to get your hands on that. Prices should be live at most retail sites, the sale prices. So go get a book and enjoy a steamy, beachy black romance from Books by D.L. White. Events coming up. So here's why I am not going to be on the podcast the next 2 weeks. Next weekend, actually Friday, is Juneteenth, and I took it off because we don't get it off, but we get 5 floating holidays a year. So you can use a floating holiday whenever you like. For like holidays we don't get off, so you can take it off. So I used one of my floating holidays this year for Juneteenth, and I wasn't planning on going anywhere, but then I saw the Black Inks Book Festival pop up, and 2 people that I really adore are going to be there. And I have friends in New Orleans. I have 2 friends in New Orleans, and I said, hey, how would you guys like for me to come to town and just be smiling in your face all weekend, except for when I'm at this book festival? And they said, bet. Come through. And so I am. And so Friday I'm going to New Orleans, spending some time with my good girlfriends. And then Saturday is the book festival. I am not going to the Friday night event. I'm spending some time with my friends, but Saturday from 11 to 3 is the book festival. There's a series from Farah Rashan that I wanted to get, the Bayou Dreams series in print, and I forgot at Black Romance Book Fest. So I'm going to grab those there. I'm going to see what else I need to pick up from New Orleans area authors. And then Melanated Reader, Crystal Forte pre-PhD, if you know what I'm saying, is going to be moderating a panel. And so I'm excited to see Crystal. I'm basically just going to be staring at Crystal all summer because I think she's also going to be at another event that I'm in that hasn't been announced yet. That was supposed to be announced last week, but hasn't been. And so I have to wait to announce it. But I'm gonna. And when I do, you'll know. Anyhow, so I'm going to be seeing Crystal there later on in the year. Anyway, Crystal will be at the Black Ink Book Fest this weekend in New Orleans. Excited to go. I love a book festival, especially when I don't have to set up a table and sell books. But I am going to set up a table and sell books at Wine with Writers, which is the following weekend. Look at me traveling 2 weekends in a row. Who do I think I am? I'm going to be so tired. So, yes. So I will have books for sale at Wine with Writers, which is sold out. But I do think they had some slots available for the paint and sip, which sounds fun. And then a few people ordered some pre-orders, so I will have those. I've been tracking my books. It looks like they are shipping this week. So I should have them hopefully this week, early next week, and then I'm going to quick turnaround and ship them to the site so I don't have to put them in my suitcase. And then let's hope and pray we don't have to bring a ton of books home because I do not know how I'm going to get them home. Yeah. So, I could probably ship them. I do have friends in the area that could drop them off at, FedEx, UPS, etc. for me. So I'll figure it out. So that's what's going on the next 2 weeks. So this will be the last episode before I come back from Wine with Writers. I'm very excited to be in conversation with some amazing authors like the legend Miss Beverly Jenkins, who is giving the keynote, Joan Bassar, Nia Forrester, Jacinta Howard, I think Ray Lease, Danielle Allen. It's going to be a really great time, an intimate time with readers to just chill and talk books. And I am so excited. I don't know if you can tell. So that's pretty much what I've got going on. I will be back with notes on all my sales and all my good stuff and possibly some information on the secret project. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm having fun. It might come, it might not. Chances are it will though, because if I finish it, y'all are getting it. I'm just saying. So that's going to be it for me. I did it in under 20 minutes. Yay. Thank you so much for spending time with me, book friends. It's a really quick episode, but I will be back in a few weeks with a full debrief after New Orleans and Wine with Writers. If you enjoy this episode, please share it. Please read it. Please leave a comment, leave a review, leave a love note, leave a rave, share it with like 6 friends. Apple, Spotify, Substack, YouTube, you can leave a comment at all of those places. Full show notes, transcripts, and links will be at booksbydlwhite.com/bookcast/140 and on my Substack at authordlwhite.substack.com. You can support this podcast once again by shopping the books at booksbydlwhite.com/shop, by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/booksbydlwhite. You can share this podcast or join the newsletter. Find all those links at booksbydlwhite.com/link in bio. Such a big, huge thanks to my monthly supporters and everyone who has sent over a cup of coffee. You keep this mic on. Actually, my Buzzsprout invoice came in last week and it was like, you owe $0 because the money that people give me every week in support of this podcast pays that invoice. Isn't that neat? I think that's fantastic. That's one of my favorite things. I love it. Yes. So now then, the Bookcast is written, produced, and edited by me, D.L. White. The theme music and any sound effects are from Pixabay. Thank you so much for joining me once again. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Until then, find yourself a really, really good book, like a deliciously good book. It does not matter the genre. It doesn't matter if it's short or if it's long or if it's romance or if it's nonfiction or if it's mystery or if it's horror. Or if it's a comic book, find something really good that you would enjoy reading and put it into your face. And then come tell me about it. Have a wonderful, wonderful couple of weeks, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.